Welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District past and present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. We're in Hinckley's six of the best, stupendous, quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chaplain causes history aside. Local causes. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it HDPP.
Oh, hold on, missus. Hold on. Good evening. A horse, very hoarse, I have to say. Welcome to the programme. Yes, it's me again, old Fidgety. And welcome to the programme. You'll already notice my voice. I've been quite poorly again. I don't know why. I don't do being poorly, but I managed to get through the social night just, and it was great to see you all, by the way. And then lo and behold, I've been any old owl, but I feel I am getting better now. But it's settled in my throat now, and it's sort of I say sore. It's like a dry throat, really, really strange. Anyway, that's my problem. So that's why I may be sounding an octave or 7 down, doing my deep voice. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Hinckley District past and present will explode. No, that sort of thing. Okay, so Mrs. G, in fact, she has just come in with my. I'll lean out. This is just a cordial which I'm drinking because the voice just goes very quickly when it goes. So I'm trying to be. If you can just be with me tonight, that would be a big help. Okay, right. Well, here we are once again. All together on a Sunday night, and indeed started. I was really pleased tonight. First of all, a lot of you came straight in as soon as I opened the door, so thank you for that. Kath was first in tonight, so hi Kath. Steve Gardner followed in. Nice that Steve was here. Dave B followed on, and here's the best bit, ladies and gentlemen. After Wednesday night, Kath Denny said John's making a door. How come he can make a door but he can't do a book? Hey, will you get your door before we get our book? Yeah, you see, things that make you go, Okay, David Starnborough's here. Hi, David. And Mrs. Poldark is here as well. Hey, up me ducks. Hope you're all okay tonight. Well, would be. I just want to... Anyway, Dangerous Dan is here as well. Wishing us all a good evening. So there you go. And David Allen is here from Boston, in Lincolnshire, of course. Let's explore. Mr. Steve Picker himself. Steve, they're gagging for you in September, mate. Trust me, they really are. They're asking about you on Wednesday night. So we're looking forward to seeing you in September at our social night. Daniel Coburn's here as well. And quickly scrolling down, Anne Hunt has been spent all day stripping. I hasten to add the wallpaper in the lounge. She's got the plasterers coming apparently, or something like that. Anyway, she's been very... been very busy. See what I mean? That's what I'm fighting tonight, so I mustn't laugh. Very difficult when you're trying to control it all. Mary Blake's here as well. Hi, Mary. Hope you're doing okay. And you enjoyed the programme tonight. Clive Armstrong's here. Jeff is here. Jeff is in Briggs. Yes. Oh, wait. But Anna... so I said Anna watching and assisting, but unable to chat. It'll be a quiet night, guys. And Queen Bee is here as well. That's it. We're connecting everybody all over tonight. That's great. So fantastic indeed it is. And Russet's here. Nice that you're here, Russet, as well. We're thinking about it the other day, actually. And I'm glad everything went off as you so wished. For your husband. Okay, we move on with... Jan Kirby's coming all of a sudden. Oh, yes. And Kath Dennis said the door is to go on the shed. And that will be, yes, you see, never get this book. Anyway, Anne said, mustn't laugh. I know. Well, anyway, look, we're all up to date. I'm going to tell you what we got tonight. He says, you might hear me suddenly go low and then, we'll see how we go through it. Anyway, we've got some nice little features for you tonight as well. And, of course, we've got 6 of the best. Tonight with a bit of a twist. A bit of a twist. You'll see why in just a few moments' time. And, in fact, we better get straight into that. Let me first just tell you, I'm starting to plug this now because we're making great plans for it. The school assembly, our old school assembly hymns and songs in September in St Mary's Church. Peter Harris and myself from the church, we've been working on this now. It's going to be a lovely afternoon. If you came to our first one way before lockdown, you'll know what a great little afternoon it was. Tea and cake. This is worth coming for the tea and cake anyway. So that's going to be coming up in September, but I'm starting to plug it now because I want to fill the church, basically. They told me that the roof is in need of repair. So as I've put there, let's raise the roof and put a new one back on. Exactly. Right. Gary Betterly, yeah. Have you a frog in your throat? Yes, I do. It feels really... and also, and Jane Brown's here as well. So we know now, we can start. So there we go. Right, okay then. So if you are ready for your 6s of the besties, I think with no further ado, we ought to start, aren't we? Here we go. So, 6 of the best this evening is going to take a slurp of his drink. Are you ready? Blimey. Nearly swallowed an ice cube then. Okay. Now then, counting the 2 tin hats in the museum, how many tin hats can be seen in the town today? Is it 4? Is it 5? Or is it 6? Ooh. Pretty easy, actually, if you know your local knowledge. So that is question 1. How many? Counting the 2 in... You see, I'm giving the answer away. Counting the 2 tin hats in the museum, how many tin hats can be seen in the town today? Yeah, easy. Remember, don't put your answers in that chat room because people nick them. Exactly, so don't. Wait till the end of the programme when we ask you to, okay? Question number 2. What country has the highest life expectancy? This surprised me. I can hear you all clicking. Can you hear Mr. Google going now? Yeah. Try and do it without Google. You can do it. What country has the highest life expectancy? On to question 3. True or false? An ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight. Is that true? Is it false? That's all you need to know. That is question number 3. Question 4. This is our Guess the Year. Concorde took its final flight. The first Pirates of the Caribbean film, The Curse of the Black Pearl, was released, and the Christmas number 1 was Mad World, sung by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules. And if I get much lower, I'll be on the floor. Moving on, number 5. I had to use this. There's a story behind this actually, but I'll tell you at the end of the programme. Where am I in Hinckley? Oh, now that is interesting, isn't it? One of our members was going to tease me with that, but wasn't very pleased when I gave the answer straight back. I knew straight away. But however, let's just keep the fun going tonight. Where in Hinckley can you see this particular letterbox and brickwork arrangement? That's question number 5. Now, settle yourselves because the anagram is in 2 parts tonight. Right then, I'll leave it on the screen so you can get it all down. Now, the first thing you've got to do is write down housefly subhead waller. Housefly subhead waller. Now, this is a pub. I'm telling you that now. This is a pub. Now, most locals know it as one or the other. So you've got to think of a pub that people know, but some people call it one thing and some people call it another thing. A bit like the Millstone and the Milestone, if you like, but it ain't that pub, right? So you've got to get the first one to get the second one, okay? In fact, if you get the second one, you might get the first one then. So after you've got that sorted, Housefly Subhead Waller, it's a pub. It's in the area, it's not in Hinckley. Most locals know it as one or the other, but you will know it. I guarantee you will know it. And then the second part of the anagram, this is like just a little extra for a bit of fun. Oscar's Redford Sods. This particular feature is just up the road. It's just up the road from the pub to which you're trying to find in the first question. Good. Hope you got all that. Does that make sense? I think it does. Housefly Subhead Waller. Most locals know it as one name or another name, right? And literally, probably, 400 yards up the road, you'll see this other feature. That's it. I can't say no more. So, very quickly through, one more time. Here we go. Counting the 2 tin hats in the museum. How many tin hats can be seen in the town today? Question 2. You butch thing, you. Hello. What country has the highest life expectancy? Now, stop making yourself laugh, Paul. You can't do it tonight. An ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight. Is that true or false? Question 4, Guess the Year. Concorde took its final flight this year. First Pirates of the Caribbean film was released, and the Christmas number 1 was Mad World, sung by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules. Where am I in Hinckley? Interesting, isn't it? I think that's a great little one, actually. Might have used it a long, long time ago, but anyway, it's put to good use tonight. Back to the anagram, so let me just explain one more time. Part 1, we're definitely looking for a pub. It's not in Hinckley. But this pub, most people know it as one thing or the other. Okay, it's like got 2 names. It's got its proper name, but some people call it by another name. Right? Yeah. So you got to work your way through that. And then the second part of the anagram is quite simple because this is just up the road. This feature is just up the road from that pub in question. I can tell you now, Mrs. G got it. She got it right. So we know it works tonight. So good luck with that. Okay, that's it. Stop that. So there we go. And there we go. And Anne Hunt says she's going to be there at our old school songs assembly. It's going to be a good afternoon. And Kay Norton's coming. Hello, Kay. Right. Okay then. Give me a little bit of a rest now. I thought how you enjoyed various things that we do here at HDPP. So, which one it was? I think it was this one. I thought we'd look into a little bit of chocolate again tonight, and some of these wonderful chocolate bars we used to have as kids. Now we've had one before, but this is a different film, 8 minutes worth. Let's go back and reminisce.
It seems we can't get enough of our favourite chocolate treats. Unfortunately, many of these are no longer available, so we have to make do with nostalgic reminiscence of days gone by. There's been a huge reaction recently to the 10 lost chocolate bars you wish they would bring back video I made a few months ago. You've been commenting in your thousands on that video with your own favourite chocolate of the past that is sadly no longer in production. Well, I've picked out some of the most mentioned chocolate treats from all of your comments to include in this video. More forgotten chocolate you wish they would bring back. The classic Bar 6 from Cadbury's was a huge favourite during the 60s and 70s, and I'm sure there are many of us who have fond memories of getting a Bar 6 from the vending machine at your local swimming pool. As the name suggests, there were 6 chocolate fingers making up the Bar 6, making it perfect for sharing. But let's be honest, who would want to share it when you could eat the whole lot yourself? With the Bar 6 long since vanished from the shelves, we'll just have to make do with a Kit Kat. Another long lost favourite from Chocolate King's Cadbury was the Icebreaker. This is one of those bars that maybe isn't as widely remembered as some of the others on this list, but to those that do remember, it brings back very fond memories indeed. Mind you, with mint flavoured chips spread throughout a blend of milk and plain chocolate, you really can't go wrong, can you? Another combination of chocolate and mint, the classic duo, was the mint cracknel. This long departed treat consisted of 2 squares nestling in a cardboard tray, similar to those that used to be found in a Bounty. The nearest product to a mint cracknel today is probably the peppermint crisp, made in Australia but available to buy online. Think about all of the great flavours available in a Cadbury's milk tray box. Still very much available, of course. Now imagine, if you will, a chocolate bar featuring many of those same great flavours. The Cadbury's milk tray bar, sadly long since disappeared from the nation's confectionery counters. The milk tray bar consisted of a number of different shaped segments, each containing a variety available in the milk tray box, such as the gorgeous lime barrel. Such a simple idea, so why do you no longer do it, Cadbury's? Speaking of Cadbury's products you wish would come back, one of the items most mentioned by StewView TV viewers is the rum and raisin classic Old Jamaica. Well, rejoice now, Old Jamaica fans, because Cadbury's relaunched the bar in 2020 as Bourneville Old Jamaica. Having been discontinued in 2010, this 70s classic was revived after 10 years, after it topped a Facebook poll asking which vintage Cadbury's bar should be brought back. Created in 1988 by Terry's, the pyramid was certainly something a little different on the chocolate market. Designed to look like an Egyptian pyramid, the pyramid contained a mint fondant, creating that classic combination of chocolate and mint. Unfortunately, due to its size and shape, it wasn't particularly easy to eat and was soon changed to a standard bar in 1991. Even that didn't last long though.
Meeting archaeologists can be murder. So afterwards, I like to relax with something that's got a great future. New Terry's Pyramid. Oh, it looks a bit like my house, except it's Terry's delicious dark chocolate filled with cool mint cream. I can't think of a better way to unwind.
New Terry's Pyramid. Mummies and Daddies love 'em.
Made by Macintosh, who then became Roundtree Macintosh, who were later then taken over by Nestle. Too confusing. The Golden Cup consisted of milk chocolate segments filled with a beautifully soft and indulgent toffee caramel. For most kids during the 60s and 70s, the Golden Cup was kept in reserve by Mum and Dad as a special treat. In 1976, a new competitor arrived on the scene in the form of Cadbury's Caramel. With the backing of a huge marketing campaign from Cadbury's for its caramel, the Golden Cup gradually lost favour and was phased out in the 1980s. The next entry on our list wasn't really a chocolate bar at all, but judging by many of your comments, it was a much-loved 70s sweet shop favourite, and they were great to eat, so I'm going to include it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the Nutty Bar. Just think, a heap of roasted peanuts mixed with caramel and fudge. No chocolate in sight, but what a bar it was.
You'll go nuts for the nuts you get in Knox.
That's what the great people of the UK were told in the 1960s anyway, at a time when the Rowntree's Nux bar was at its height. First released in 1959, the Nux was a chocolate bar filled with nuts, toffee and nougat, or, as it should be said, nugget. Sadly, the Nux was discontinued towards the end of the 60s, and the closest you can get to one today would be either a picnic or a peanut version of a Lion Bar. More chocolate, nougat and caramel deliciousness now, but this time filled with raisins instead of nuts. It's Cadbury's Amazing Raisin Bar. A true 70s classic, just the packaging itself made you want to buy one, and you certainly weren't disappointed if you did. As Cadbury continually told us, it's amazing what raisins can do. First launched in 1962, the topic had a 60-year run before being sadly discontinued by Mars in 2022. It seems that the Mars Corporation believe that the good people of Great Britain no longer want a hazelnut in every bite.
What has a hazelnut in every bite? Sorry! And thick milk chocolate for your delight. Sorry! Nougat and caramel golden light. Sorry! And don't forget the hazelnut in every bite. And again, what has a hazelnut in every bite? Sorry! Thick milk chocolate for your delight. Sorry! Nougat and caramel golden light. And don't forget the hazelnut in every bite. Sorry! A hazelnut in every bite.
Just before we get on to our final featured bar, here's a nostalgic reminder of some other long-lost chocolate favourites that are sadly missed today. You can't trust anyone to keep a secret. Well, that's certainly true of Nestlé, who have so far resisted all calls and petitions to bring back the Rowntree secret, last seen in a sweet shop near you sometime during the late 1990s. With a light mousse centre similar to that found in a walnut whip and a bird's nest style chocolate covering, the secret was much loved, but it seems not quite loved enough, as Nestlé discontinued the bar due to high production costs and, apparently, low demand. Judging by how many of you want it back, I think Nestlé could be onto a winner if they did revive it. Well, that's it for another nostalgic trip down memory lane. Please keep those memories coming in the comments section, and as ever, thanks for watching and for helping keep those memories alive.
There we go. Lovely to see some of those chocolate bars. Remember most of them very well. Absolutely. I used to love Swish Kit and all that. What was your favourites in that lot that you think, oh yeah, I forgot that? Oh yeah, I used to love them. Love the Golden Cup, by the way. And my brother used to like them too. And he used to just, well, I won't tell you what he used to do with them. But anyway, it was, you think, oh, gonna have to go and get one. You used to nip over to the post office over the road from us. Brilliant. And Dangerous Dan said, love Topics. Yeah, I remember Topics very well. Oh, and Kevin Beasley has joined us. Hi, Kevin. You'll notice the butch voice tonight. Yeah, I've got to try and keep level because if I start to laugh, I fall apart, you know. So there we go. Anyway, Well, now Kevin's joined us, we better quickly recap 6 of the best. Already, John Denny, not only is he making a door at the same time, he's come in, solved the anagrams, and everything, you see, because he's so smug like that. So John's done well there, and as I say, one or two people are starting to get the anagram, and I think it's quite a good one tonight, and you can see how the clues work. So it's not a load of old baloney. So let's do 6 of the best, especially for our Kevin tonight, because he's only just managed to get logged in. Daniel Coburn, by the way, he said, love that. I'm now craving chocolate. I know. Okay then, so here we go, Kevin, especially for you. Counting the 2 tin hats in the museum, how many tin hats can be seen in the town today? Is it 4, 5 or 6? One of those is, of course, the correct answer. Question number 2. What country has the highest life expectancy? Surprised me when I found out, but there you go. Question 4. An ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight. True or false? Question 4. Guess the year Concorde took its final flight. That was so sad, that was. The first Pirates of the Caribbean film was released. Christmas number 1 was Mad World, sung by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules. Now, where am I in Hinckley? Where can you see this letterbox? On full view. I'll have you know, this is right at street level. It's at full view, it's not hidden. Dangerous Den's going to be quite surprised when I show him that. Anyway, Jan Kirby said, sorry Paul, I cut you off. Do you know, I thought I did, I suddenly felt a bit cut off then. And then Jan says, I've got the anagram, have you got them both yet? We'll find out in a moment, and here is that anagram. So, we're looking for a pub, not in Hinckley. Most locals know it as under one name or another name, okay. Housefly Subhead Waller. And then once you've got that, literally just up the road, about 400 yards, is a road, is a road feature, let's call it that. And if you rearrange that, as Mrs. G has done, as Clever Clogs John Denny has done, see, it all works. That's basically, it all works. Good. Like Dangerous Den says, that John Denny is multitasking. Is that allowed? Now listen, Dennis, it's all a false fallacy. He can't multitask. He can't. Otherwise, he would have had that book done now, wouldn't he, while he was building his soapbox and things like that. Talking of which, next Sunday, of course, is the Soapbox Derby. If I've got my dates right, I've just suddenly remembered that. That'll be fun. We haven't been in it for a little while, actually, because the last one we did with FOSS 107, that was great fun and whatnot, but couldn't get an engineer, John Denny. Too busy driving a banana. Anyway, moving on. Jan Kirby said we went past it today. I think she's referring to the pub in question, you see. So well done. Okay, now I'm going to have another break. While I do that, did you realise that yesterday, a sad reminder of 107 years ago yesterday, was the Battle of the Somme. And I've got this little video. It lasts for about 15 minutes. I don't apologise for playing it again. All about the Tigers at the Somme, and the worst tragedy to hit the British Army, as all will be explained here.
My name is Richard Lane. I'm the regimental historian for the Leicestershire Regiment, and I specialise in studying the First World War movements of the regiment. We're here today at the Thiepval Memorial on the Somme, which commemorates 73,500 men who were totally lost. They were never found. No trace of them was ever found. Included on the memorial are about 900 members of the Leicestershire Regiment who died in various battles, but mainly at Bazentin-le-Petit. A lot of these guys have been together since 1914 when they formed up in Leicester. they'd have great friendships between themselves and also the junior officers who led them. For a fairly small county regiment, I mean, we were very heavily involved. We were engaged in some of the major battles. The 110th Leicestershire Brigade were involved in 2 major battles, the first one being Bezentin Ridge and the second one at Guidacourt at the end of September. I've been coming over here for many, many years, tracing the footsteps, if you like, of the regiment, following basically the various battles and conflicts the Leicestershire Regiment was involved in during the Battle of the Somme, which started on July the 1st, 1916. Well, Burl was the first village that 2 battalions came to in July 1915. And you're talking about 1,500, 1,600 men in the village, you know, it's a lot of people. And they had to be supplied, fed, watered, everything else, which was quite a big logistical problem. I mean, all these boys were forming up for the Battle of the Somme the following July. They all knew what was coming, but they didn't know when it was coming, and they were training all over the place. You know, companies would go off for special training, machine gun training, all sorts of things, all over the place, behind the lines, obviously. But they still had to hold the front line, which they do by rotation with companies and battalions, you know, probably 400 or 500 men in the front line. And as you'll see here, quite a few guys got killed. There's 37 in this cemetery, either killed by sniper fire, which the Germans were very good at, or by spasmodic shell fire. And the water table is very high around here, and most of the time they were probably standing in easily a foot, probably 2 foot of water in the winter of 15, which was pretty awful and very, very cold apparently. And they got trench foot. A lot of people went ill. The soldiers were drinking out of foul water, got dysentery and all sorts of things, and there was quite a steady stream of, you know, medical casualties being treated. And so it went on, and they became, you know, an extremely highly regarded brigade, and they stayed here for some considerable time, and they obviously got to know the locals very well. The residents of Burl looked after them very, very well. They knew why they were here. I mean, they were fighting for France, weren't they, basically? Well, I have an appointment in about 5 minutes with the mayor, and he wants to show me the things in the museum, so I'm going to have to leave you for a bit. Well, Dick Reed was one of the original soldiers who joined the 110th Brigade in Leicester in 1914, along with lots of his friends, all Leicester people. Mr. Mayor, why are you so keen to keep the relationship going with the Reed family in the Leicestershire Regiment?
The family of Berlebois remembers the presence of regiment of Leicester.
What is the importance of having the Dick Reed Square here to the people of Burl?
It's very important for the memory.
Yeah.
We are very proud because the Leicester regiment and its soldiers, it's for the liberty.
Yeah.
It's the memory.
That's right, yes.
It's for the memory.
I think it's marvellous, after 100-odd years, we've kept this relationship going with Burl.
So we leave this pleasant little village of Burl-au-Bois, 3 kilometres from the front line trenches and about 1/4 kilometre from the German front line at Monchy-le-Preux. And we take with us the memory of that terrible winter of 1915-16, when brave men and callow youth, who were men before their time, were tested to the limits of their endurance. In the terrible conditions of knee-deep mud and waterlogged trenches, with the trenches falling in left, right and centre, rations scarce, sleep impossible. When the relief battalion took over at dusk, the rain had ceased, and we officers and men alike trudged warily down the communication trench as best we could, over the top where they had collapsed, till we reached the Burle-Monchy road. We sat by the wayside in all the mud and slime to rub whale grease into our dead white feet, painful and wrinkled like a walnut shell, with very little feeling. Great-hearted men, some who were yet boys, wept bitter tears at the frustration and futility of it all. We were left alone the next day, to sleep, rest and dry out. So we paraded and left the memories behind us as the long march began.
Well, we're now standing on the edge of Mametswood, looking across the road to the extensive size of Bezentin-le-Petit Wood. On the 14th of July 1916, the Leicestershire Regiment, 4 battalions of them, the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th battalions, were ordered to attack and hold and keep Bezentin Wood and the village. The 2 leading battalions formed up here in extended line, remembering they've got a load of kit on rifles, grenades, bayonets, loads of ammunition, and they started to advance, dead on time at 3:20. They hit the wood straight into the Germans, but the Germans, as usual, responded very heavily. And what happened then was a hell of a fight, hand-to-hand fighting, bayonet fighting, grenade fighting. The result was that 1 battalion lost pretty well every single officer of the 8th battalion. They got into the wood and started to clear the trenches. But the Germans, being the Germans, they were well dug in and fought like tigers. They really did. It was a hell of a battle, and the greatest battle the Leicesters ever fought, in actual fact. And a company sergeant major called Robert Hancock gathered together the remnants of the 4 battalions and formed a defensive line at the north of the wood and waiting for the Germans to attack, but instead he decided to attack them. The Leicesters drove the Germans right back. Company Sergeant Major Hancock was very badly wounded, but for this he was awarded the Military Cross, which was very unusual for a Company Sergeant Major. He was 38 years old. When they were leading out of Mametswood further down the road, the Prince of Wales was standing there, patting the boys on the back, good luck and all this sort of thing. And the story is told that when the attack went in, he started to follow, because he wanted to follow the boys into the attack, and he had to be physically restrained from doing so. And I told this story to Prince Charles when he opened the museum a few years ago, showing him where it happened and photographs. And Prince Charles turned around and said, "That man would never surprise me." There'll be an awful lot of very close hand-to-hand fighting with bayonets and Mills bombs, because our boys would be stumbling across Germans in trenches and they'd either lob a Mills bomb in, bayonet them, shoot them at point-blank range. It would be a fairly awful, bloody affair. Well, the total casualties for the battle were 1,947 men, either killed or wounded. There's 880 of our boys on the Theatbell Memorial. The majority of them are still in here. They just couldn't, they might have been blasted to smithereens by shell fire or just buried by German artillery. But there's certainly a lot still left in here, which is rather a sobering thought, I find, quite frankly, when you walk through here. Very sad. And you've got to remember, a lot of these guys were sort of 18, 19, 20-year-old, the boys, a lot of them. The vast majority be under 22. Hundreds and hundreds of them. I find it a very sad and sobering thought, actually. There's so many of our boys still here.
July 14th. Brigade attacked this morning at 3:25 a.m. and took Bezentin Wood, Bezentin-le-Petit and Bezentin-le-Grand. 146 men of my company killed, wounded and missing. 582 of the battalion. Every officer of my company killed. I lost most of my friends this day. Went up to the new front with rations, and the most ghastly sight met our eyes. Dead men every few yards, and the whole place smells stale with the slaughter which has been going on for the past 14 days. The smell of the dead and lacrimatory gas. The place is a very hell, with the whistling and crashing of shells, bursting shrapnel and the rattle of machine guns. The woods we had taken had not yet been cleared, and there were pockets of Germans with machine guns still holding out and doing some damage. A sergeant sinks to the ground beside me with a bullet wound neatly drilled through his shoulder. Lucky man. It's not likely to prove fatal. It's too clean, and it means a few months in Blighty for him. July 16th. Battalion came out of the line and bivouacked at Mametz. I had to call the roll of the company, and this was a heartbreaking business. The answer to most of the names was killed. All men who were not definitely known to have been killed were posted as missing. For this, we had to rely on the knowledge of the few survivors, of course.
On the 25th of September 1916, 4 battalions of the Leicestershire Regiment attacked the village of Guidecourt to our front. The village was very heavily defended and they ran into very heavy machine gun fire as soon as they came over the ridge behind me. Well, this was the last main Somme engagement of the 110th Leicester Brigade, and when they were told they were going to have to do another attack after Byzantine Ridge, there was a lot of resentment because they'd taken such heavy casualties, a couple of months before. The German defences consisted of 3 trench lines running from left to right in front of the village. They'd be deep, probably 7 to 8 feet deep, with bunkers in them, machine guns, etc., etc. One of the Leicester battalions got into the first trench system and gave the Germans some hard fighting with grenades and bayonets, etc., and held it, and the Germans drew back. But then, as usual, the Germans brought up reinforcements and we were stuck. After about 20 minutes, a tank came rumbling down this road, which is called Watling Street, and ran straight into the German front line, firing down the trench line with machine guns and 6-pounder guns, which mincemeated the Germans, and then they went on into the village and did the same there. However, the Germans have got considerable reserves in the village. By this time, the Leicesters were taking very, very heavy casualties, 400 to 500 men down, and it was becoming very disruptive fighting, and they held and stopped to re-establish themselves. The battle actually started, which is most strange, at 12:25 p.m, which is most unusual, in broad daylight. I mean, there was sitting ducks coming over this ridge for heavy machine gun fire. They battled on and eventually got into the village where there was a lot of close quarter fighting with bayonets and Mills bombs, which is the favourite weapon for clearing houses. And then they were reorganised and held back, and another regiment came in and took over from the Leicester battalions. It was a great success. They'd done exceptionally well in the Somme battles. Another laurel to the Leicesters, basically. Once again, at a hell of a cost. The casualties are about 600, about 400 killed. We're now standing in Serre number 2 cemetery, just outside the village of Serre. There are just over 7,000 graves in this cemetery, and the significance is it's a very similar figure of casualties to the Leicestershire Regiment, just over 7,000 in the whole of the First World War. Well, it makes you realise, the terrible suffering, really, and the absolutely incredible casualties. When you consider all the young men who came from Leicester, aged from 17 to 30, who volunteered in 1914, and thousands of them never came back, and thousands came back badly wounded, there'd hardly be a family in the whole of the country in the First World War which wasn't in some way affected, whether it's fathers, brothers, uncles, killed, wounded. The Leicesters had something like 24,000 casualties, people wounded, but there are no real records whether they lost a leg, an arm, or whatever, but they're probably crippled for life. But I do believe now that there's been such a surge of interest over the last few years, which is very good, because people should realise the sacrifice these people made. I mean, they're all young men, they're bags of 17-year-olds who never should have been here. They were mere boys, but they were not supposed to come on foreign service till they were 19, but, they lied about their age, encouraged by the recruiting sergeants to get in. But that's how it was, basically. although it was one of the smaller regiments in the country, I mean, you know, they did the job and they did it very, very well, quite frankly. It's remembering these guys, and I think they should never ever be forgotten for the sacrifice they made.
As I turn the pages of memory at the going down of the sun, and in the dark watches of the night, I remember them, my comrades of long ago. In peace be vigilant, for peace needs no defence, only a defender. The noise of the battle has long since faded and died away. The great guns that once spewed their hate o'er the Flanders plains are silent, and only remembered by we few, we pitiful few. All that remains of the great army, pride of our race, the remnants of a lost generation. Too honest to steal, too proud to beg, charity we scorn, pity we dread. The people pray for God, and the soldiers in time of war, both are forgotten when the war is over. But we who are left remember.
It's very sobering stuff, isn't it? There's not much I can really add to that other than the fact that we've screened that before. We will certainly screen it again, more than likely as we get to Remembrance at the back end of this year. And it's important we always remember, never forget them. And some lovely comments coming in there as well. So thanks for sharing them in our chat room. Right, okay. Before our nosy, it's a good one tonight, by the way. And I know Steve is about, so he'll be looking forward to your comments and stuff. It's your last chance to have a go at 6 of the best. And we'll do that now. Then we'll go straight away for our nosy. So now, here we go. So, counting the 2 tin hats in the museum, how many tin hats can be seen in the town today? One of them is, of course, the correct answer. General knowledge now. What country has the highest life expectancy? And question 3. An ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight. Is that true? Is it false? We'll find out later. Question 4. Guess the year. Concorde took its final flight this year. Oh, it was so sad. What were they thinking of? I'm sorry. It's one thing it should still be flying. Anyway, there you go. The first Pirates of the Caribbean film was released this year, and the Christmas number 1 was Mad World, sung by Michael Andrews and Gary Jewels. Now, number 5. Where am I in Hinckley? You're going to find out. You're going to go, where? Well, I never. Yeah, it's on the street. It's right in front of everybody walks by it. Most days, on a busy road and all. However, you'll find out a bit later on. Now, let's just go to the very last time for the anagram. Firstly, there's like 2 anagrams for a bit of fun. I just thought we'd make a bit of fun tonight. Housefly, subhead, Waller. Now, most local, it's a pub. It's a pub, not in Hinckley. Now, most locals know it as one name or another. It's one of those, like I say, it's a bit like when people say the milestone, the millstone. It's that sort of thing. Okay. In this case, it's known by 2 different, either by its pub name or by its other name. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to leave it at that a minute. And once you've got that, literally about 400 yards up the road, you will see Oscar's Redford Sods. Yeah, right. It's just up the road. It is. Dave B, we're not putting the answers in yet. Let's delete him for us. Dave B, we're not at that part yet. We're not finished yet. Oh, I've hid him. Wait a minute. Right, hang on. I don't want to... Oh, dear. Wait a minute. I've got to... no, let's just remove. Sorry, David. No. That's it. Because you put the answer in. We're not at that time yet. Anyway, so there you go. Oh, there's always someone to keep me on my toes, isn't there? Right then. Okay. David, you'll understand. Yes. you'll understand why I had to remove your message, because you put an answer in. We're not at that part of the programme yet. It's after we've had our nosy. So, David, take yourself outside, give yourself a good talking to on the bow of the boat, and write out 50 times, I must not give the answers away until the proper time. Yes, you've jumped the You see, excuse me. Fortunately, we were on that quick. No problem, Dave. It happens, mate. Don't worry. Okay, then. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We're going for a brand new noser. I like this one. You're going to like it. Dave B, you're going to like this one too. Let's go for a nosy with our Steve.
Hello, hey up and hey diddling. My name is Steve, and once again, it's a great big warm welcome from myself to Let's Explore. Right then, it's been a little while since we've made a video, isn't it? But here they all are, look. Hey, here he is, everybody's favourite tribal elder, the main man himself, Mr. Delighted David. How are we diddling, sir?
All right, living the dream. Look at this.
Oh, amazing, isn't it?
Architecture at its best on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. And of course, here he is, look. Everybody's favourite man of the cloth.
Oh, sold. On a Sunday.
The pissed up priest, Mr. Steve Follows. How we diddling?
Very good. Good to be back out. Yeah, Steve, they're calling you. I must go. My flock needs me.
Absolutely fantastic. And hey, my old school friend, look, the man who recently come in at #1 in a poll, coming as the most amazing man in the world. He even topped the amazing Spider-Man. Of course, it's my old school friend of the last 34 years, Mr. Amazing Adam. How we diddling?
Very well, thank you. How's yourself?
Nice to have you out.
Sponsored by Back to Black.
Well, there you go, you see, you heard it here first.
I'm disappointed because it's still got my cocktail shaker in. I could have made me a cocktail, couldn't you, Mr. Bond?
Well, next time, Dave, I'll bring it and we'll have a round of drinks halfway through the nosy.
Well, at this point, I don't even know what you're banging on about. Anyway, as you can see, you've got this mightily impressive structure behind us. Not going to tell you notes about that at the minute, because we're going to go off and have a gallivant looking at the Moorcock Tunnel, which is a separate entity, actually, on a different railway near this one. Anyway, so we're going to have a nosy. Is that it, David? Anything else before we get into it?
No, you heard it here first. We're having a great day. Sunday morning, really early. You lot should be up and not laying in bed. Isn't that right?
We're done with the lecture now. Are we,
yeah, let's just stick his beaks in.
Let's go and have a nosy. Moorcock Tunnel. Alrighty then, so courtesy of Google Earth as per usual, we can view today's nosiness from above, and as you can see there, where the red dot does indeed always mark that spot in the centre of the screen, we are in Rutland for this week's video, just to the north of the Northamptonshire town of Corby, kind of sandwiched between Corby and Rutland Water. So as first port of call today, before we're going to look at the stunning Haringworth Viaduct, is just to the southeast of Moorcock Village. As you can see that bit of a cut in there, and going beneath the A47 road to the south of the village of Moorcock is the Moorcock Tunnel, which I think is 448 yards long. Opened in 1851, so very old, and part of the Rugby to Stamford Railway, which we've actually looked at parts of before. Me and Dave have been out before, but as you can see now, you've got an Ordnance Survey map dated 1880 summit, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, clearly showing you and highlighting this wonderful old tunnel, which, do you know what, this was in remarkable condition, to be honest. Really big tunnel, height-wise and width-wise. It was actually intended and built as a double track, but I think it was only used as a single track, I think, but don't quote me on it. Right, Sunday morning then, you know how it goes, we're gallivanting, we're on the edge of paradise, as you can see right here, A47 just out there on the outskirts of Moorcock Village. in Rutland, and the others have beat me to it. They're already on the way down to the portal. So this then, of course, is the first time I've been to this tunnel. 400 and some yards long. I've probably told you already officially how long it is. Tell you what, this looks like a good cutting already. I'll tell you what, chaps, this track bed looks very overgrown.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't think there's been anyone down here for a while.
No, well, there ain't many people as daft as we are, is there? There's been a lot of videos down here, you know, in the past. You know, we keep coming to these types of places, don't we, these railways, and you know, I mean, look at it now. So overgrown, it's hard to imagine that these steam engines used to fly up and down here on a regular basis. I think this tunnel actually went out of existence in 1966, I think. I might be wrong there. The year England won the World Cup, of course. And I haven't done naff all since. But yeah, there's a gate on it by the looks of it. But yeah, look at that. Beautiful tunnel. Fantastic. Right, let's try and get in it. There's a bit of a fence on it, but we've got some ladders. Pristine, you know, these side walls are. Amazing. I mean, Steve's been in here before, and Adam. Wow. Big tunnel, isn't it? Width-wise and height-wise. Mind you, it'd need to be with it being built as a double track, but looks nice that, Dave, doesn't it?
Yeah. Decent length, and just to show you for perspective, that fence you can see is not the end.
Oh,
that's
well, it's
only
not.
halfway up.
Oh, is it? Fantastic. Yeah, I can hear a bit of water ingress, but we reckon, David,
Yeah.
laser show.
Yeah, we have a laser show in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Sounds about right, doesn't it? We never go in the easy way, do we? Hey. David,
Hello.
with your face like an uninterested iguana, what do you reckon to this one? It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Nice and straight. Like they all are. Fantastic echo.
Yeah, yeah. It ain't bad, is it? Massive tunnel, you know, width-wise. Because it was, like I say, yeah, it was, well, it was built as one. Help, here's the cable holders, look. Got some cable holders. Yeah, yeah. It is a strange echo in here. Yeah, it is. Some fantastic colours in here, isn't there, Dave?
Oh, unbelievable.
Great for a photographer. Just look at the sides.
I absolutely love it.
Amazing, isn't it? I mean, you see some people go on club nights, you know, I don't know, Sheffield, they may go to Leicester, London, Birmingham, Iron Apple, Ibiza.
Yeah.
But no, me, Delighted Dave, everybody's favourite man of the cloth, and Amazing Adam, we come to Moorcock Tunnel for a rave. A rave with Dave.
Dave the Rave.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to see here, folks. Just three blokes hugging in a dark railway tunnel on Sunday morning.
The one sneaking round about.
Yeah, if that's not weird, I don't know what ain't.
That sounded so wrong, that.
Hey, look at this. Some prat's already been down here, look.
Walkabout was it?
Oh, I wonder who that was.
Tell you, I don't know.
Remember the last time you come down here?
Last year.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yacht,
last year.
yacht, mate. Yeah, let's have a quick look. We like out like that, don't we? Oh, yeah. Oh, plain as day. Yeah. Plain as day, mate.
I think they're built in layers, isn't it? Look.
Yeah, looks like it. I noticed it when we came in, actually. Tell you what, these old railway chairs have corroded a bit, haven't they? Look at that. Crikey. Unbelievable. Got three of them here. I mean, why do they get left there? What's the story behind that? It's mad, isn't it? We find these sort of things regularly when we go in these tunnels. But yeah, do you see what I mean? Look about these joints. So, like Steve said, they're about every 10 foot, and you can see them clearly there. Those lines in the brickwork, that ribbing. Amazing how they're built on. Yeah, I tell you what though, mate, I bet it weren't a day's work. Mind you, then again, there were that many blokes building them, it probably might have been. Well, no, it wouldn't have been. If it were a day's work, it'd have been done in 2 weeks. Wouldn't it?
Kelly Zeros.
Hey?
Woof woof. That's for the dog imitation.
Are you on drugs?
No,
Today.
We're just on a high of being out with the lads.
Yeah, it's been too long, hasn't it, David?
Yeah, definitely has.
What we're doing now, anyway? Apart from...
This is the voice of the Mistrons.
Yeah? You having fun with that, Stephen?
Yeah.
Are we going to this viaduct? Have we got any more to do in here, David?
No, I think we might grab a few on the way out.
Yeah, come on then.
Not the real ladders, they're the step ladders. I never knew the real ladder.
That was quite good, actually.
They're on par with Steve's. They're on par with some of your jokes.
Oh, I don't talk shit. Hey, I'm going to HR, I am.
You're going to HR?
Right, and we're done with this tunnel, are we, David?
Yes, we're done with this
Yeah,
tunnel.
I like that. Decent tunnel. Nice and short. Well, not short, but it's 400 odd yard long, isn't it? I keep saying it's 400 odd yard long. I can't remember the official number, but it's 400 and something yards.
All right, Dave.
Right, let's get through the thicket. Come on, Adam.
It made me laugh.
Look at this. I'm a few months. When's your birthday?
February.
February. So you're
Which year? Next year.
So you're 38 next year. No, 39.
39 next year, yeah.
Well, my birthday's this September, so I'm 39 before him, and obviously I went primary school with Adam. I know we keep saying it's like a trip down memory lane. Where's Michael Aspel when you need him? There he is. Right. So, but look at this. Right, look at this. I'm telling you now, he's using just for men. His hairline ain't receded, and he ain't got a grey hair on his head. What's the secret?
It's all immaculate as well, look.
It is.
I use that back to black.
Back to black?
Yeah.
No, thank God. Look, we have got grey. We have got a bit of grey.
Yeah,
right.
It's
Right, just to make me feel better because I've started going grey. Right. You heard it here first. Right then, so now it's time to go and gawp in awe at the gargantuan Welland Valley Viaduct, and I don't think you'll see many finer examples of railway architecture in the world. This place is absolutely stunning. But before we do, I'll tell you something. I don't know what amazing Adam's been on, but I want some of it. He's on right good form today, isn't he? Yeah, it's only 10 to 9. We're making good time here.
You're only an hour's time, Steve.
Hey?
You're only an hour's time.
Yeah.
It's cowboy time.
What do you mean?
10 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 10.
Right, so what do you make of this then? And that's the viaduct, not this beautiful lady here. Oh, yeah, lady. Yeah, you are. This beautiful Longhorn. So this then is the Welland Valley Viaduct, or known as the Harringworth Viaduct or the Seaton Viaduct, whichever one you prefer. Built in 1878, that's when it opened anyway. It's around about 1,250 yards long. And it's got 82 of these amazing arches as well. And I think there was around about 30 million bricks that went into this. Extraordinary, you know, each and every one of those bricks would have come from the local vicinity that have actually dug out, you know, clay pits here and there, wherever there were decent clay deposits, and they'd have actually fired them probably on site somewhere. But an incredible piece of engineering. What do you reckon, me duck? You ain't bothered here, you're more interested in the grass. I tell you what, it looks lush as well. I tell you, if I was a cow, I'd be straight on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe not the stingers though, watch them. But what's amazing, the village of Seaton is just over there. Now, it was on the outskirts of Seaton that I think they had a navvy village that were known. I think it might have been Little Cyprus or Cyprus. And I think at one point, whilst this were being built, there was around about 3,000 people lived there. I think, I'm not certain on that. But can you imagine, I've just been talking to a local, you know, walking his dog, really nice gentleman, And we were saying, I said to him, can you imagine, it's really peaceful now. I'm here taking photos and video. Steve's flying the drone. Dave, I don't know where he is. It's all peaceful, you know, even the cows are chilling. And, you know, in the 1870s, the locals of Haringworth and Seaton and Glaston and all around this area, they'd probably lived in fear a little bit with this massive influx of workers coming in to build this Oakham to Kettering railway. You know, and I'll tell you who did do well out of it all, the pubs would have done, because, you know, I think wages on this site ranged from £1 a week to £3 a week. Of course, the £3 a week would have gone to the likes of the bricklayers that built this. The navvies would have been on decent coin as well, you know, because all these stanchions, you know, all these foundations that probably go quite deep, there would have been, you know, really hard work to dig out. There'd have been good money, these would. And it's beautiful to see red kites flying about around here. It really is stunning. All within a 40-minute drive of my house. Ain't bad that, is it, Steve?
No, it's good.
Absolutely fantastic. Steve's chilling out behind the camera. Right, so just here, there's something very interesting here. Now, the thing with this site, when they were building it, I mean, it's immense. There's that many materials that went into building this. You know, even before you get up to track level, there's so much going on here before it really starts. So for me, they'd have had to have had some sort of temporary railway here, either for a small steam engine or, you know, horse-drawn, maybe, not sure. But what's just here is fascinating. So under the second arch from me, just there, you've got where the River Welland goes beneath this immense construction here, this work of art. And I think what we've got is a temporary bridge here, and I'll show you. Come on here, look at this. Right then, so for me, this is a bridge. So concrete here, I imagine, I don't know if it's on the other side, or it would have been on the other side of that. I guess we'll find out in a minute. But this did indeed carry on through there. You can see concrete stanchions just through there. I'll try and get over there in a minute, as close as I can. But maybe a bit of a trestle bridge here. As you can see, we've got wood. So we'll get over here. And there, look. If I've just seen something interesting. Oh, look at that. R. Bennett, Tamworth, Staffordshire. That's interesting. I wonder if these did remedial works here. Yeah, this for me, this is a railway bridge, a temporary bridge. Yeah, look at this, look, folks. Oh, this is amazing. Wow. Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be, 100%. So you've got the big arch here, one of 82, unbelievable. Yeah. All day long, isn't it? Gotta be. But then again, thinking about it, that's higher. So I'm not sure now. What do you reckon? Is it a bridge? I think so, but I could be wrong as per usual, couldn't I? When I make these videos, I always like them to be a bit fun. I don't like them to be too serious. As you've seen today, you know, we've had a bit of a laugh so far, haven't we? You know, especially with Amazing Adam being on such good form. But, you know, when we come and explore these railways, we're always reminded of the impact that they had on the local community, but not just the local community when the railway company came through and constructed, but also the people that actually built the railways, because unfortunately many people, as you know by now, that were involved in the actual construction process of these immense undertakings like the one you're looking at now, you know, a lot of life was lost and an awful lot of injuries. And, you know, in 2023, fortunately and thankfully, it's not so much of a common occurrence, but, you know, health and safety, of course, wasn't nothing like it is now when this opened in 1878. So this railway then went from Oakham to Kettering, and it was 15 miles long, so there was a good 3,000 to 3,500 men working on it. And the www.haringworth.org website actually lists quite a lot of the accidents that happened here. I'm not going to read all of them out because there's quite a lot, but I'll give you a few instances. So in June 1877, there was a John Stone who was killed when he fell 130 feet down number 4 shaft hole at Glaston. On the 14th of December 1877, an Alfred Hyde, aged 13, you know, a young boy, died at Glaston Tunnel whilst attending an engine fire. Sadly, he got caught in a cog wheel which drew him into the engine. I mean, you can't imagine that. That is ridiculous. And a Levi Spencer was killed when he fell 130 feet down number 1 shaft hole at Glaston. John Williams was ripped and killed between a truck and an engine without buffers on. That was in 1878. So, I mean, the list goes on, to be honest. There was so many tragic events that happened here. So next time you go up in it or in a structure such as this one that you're looking at now, or even just a simple embankment or a culvert, remember those that built them, because without them, never mind the George Stephensons, the Brunels, etc. The real people that built these structures were the men that literally held the hand tools and risked their own lives. What do you reckon then, gents? Nice little adventure that were, wasn't it?
Yeah,
decent for a Sunday morning. It's nice to have you all back out again.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Nice easy ones for a change.
Yeah, we could park near everything, couldn't we? Even the tunnel were easy to get to. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah,
really surprised. But this, Dave, this is... There are no words to describe it, apart from awesome. The work that went into this, the men, I mean, there was a village over there, a navvy encampment. There were thousands of people working on this. 1878, do you know, if we built something like this now out of bricks, we'd be gawping in awe at it now, with all the laser technology we've got to get things in alignment, and the cranes we've got. This was 1878. It's 1,250 yards long.
It's the little things, the mysteries like these recesses.
Yeah.
The random, the different sizes. Look at that.
Yeah. Look at this red kite.
The random, the different sizes. Why? There must have been a reason for it.
Yeah, I'm not intelligent enough to know that.
And I don't think any of us this day and age are. I don't think any of us know why they've done it.
No.
Was it to save bricks? Was it a drainage thing?
Incredible, but absolutely awesome. What's been left behind? I mean, of course, this is still in use today. We was hoping a train were going to come along, and what's going to happen is we're going to get in the car, start driving off, and a locomotive is going to come flying along the top, isn't it? But yeah, really enjoyed your company today, chaps.
A locomotive.
Oh, a locomotive. Stop taking the piss, you. Yeah. You silly old fart.
A locomotive.
Anyway, nice to see you, mate. It's been too long. February, hasn't it?
Yeah.
February.
Nice
and my old mate, the pissed up priest. And I tell you what, I've just seen some of his footage. I'm going to edit this video this afternoon. Hopefully get it uploaded tonight. It's Sunday today, of course. And what I've just seen him capture looks absolutely awesome. I tell you now, you wouldn't have, you can't come here and do it all from the ground. Not when you've got men capable enough with a drone like the pissed up priest here. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it and all that good stuff. And we'll be seeing you very soon at the next one. Where that's going to be, I'm not sure. But until we meet again, go on.
And just one quick point, the drone footage was done legally. It's at the legal height, just in case any of you are going to say, can't fly your drone there. It was done at the legal height.
Yeah.
The app took over and sent it up to the right height.
That's right. It's got to be 39 metres away from it or something.
Don't have pissed up priest or anything.
No, we don't want none of that, do we, Stephen? Nope. No. Right. Let's make like a tree and get out of here.
That's it. The bells are ringing. Steve's got a job.
Something like that. Is it make like a tree?
Make like a tree and leave.
Oh, is it? Well, there you go. I balls that one up, didn't I? Right. Let's go.
Yeah, I watched Glastonbury last night. Then you got 2 rows there, set with dreadful. Axel just can't sing. I preferred Rick Ashley's.
You know what, didn't you?
No, what?
He'll never let you down.
Oh, we pack it in.
It's like lightning today.
Oh.
Phew, good job I was ready for that. There we have it. A great nosy, Steve, seriously. A real good one, actually. And you just... I would go as far to... I mean, I've never been there, but I've been told about it and I've seen it on the TV many times. But I think you've actually got to go, because pictures don't do it justice. You've got to go and, sort of feel it. It's a bit like when you take these lovely landscape shots and think, that's brilliant, that is. But the picture doesn't do it justice, But a great nosy. Absolutely it is. So there we go. Nice one, Steve. Let's hope there'll be another one soon, we hope. And we'll look forward to that. Okay, then. Why that film was rolling, people were saying, we think we're doing well with the anagram. We think we've done this, So we're going to find out in a minute. Now, David Blow. Let's do it. David, this is your moment, right? We're at that point, all right? Just so you know where you are, Dave. You can come back in off the bow of the boat now. Yeah, and we'll now remember, as we show each question, you can indeed put your answer in. Okay, now we're going to do it. Right, made that pretty clear, I think. Right then, here we go. Right. Question number 1 I asked. Counting the 2 tin hats in the museum, how many tin hats can be seen in the town today? Is it 4? Is it 5? Or is it 6? One of those is the correct answer. Now your mum's at it now. Mum, stop it. Stop it. I'm going to have to remove that now. They're winding me up. Surely they're wait for it. Wait for it. Right. Mother. Okay. The answer I am looking for, you may be wanting to know, is A. We are looking for, we've got 4 in the town that you can see today. The other 2 outside of the museum. One you can see in front of St Mary's Church in the little memorial garden at the top of the pole. And then, of course, there's the tin hat on the flagpole at the bottom of Castle Street. So 4 will do nicely. If you got 4, you are correct. Give yourself a point. Right. Everyone's having a good go, but like I say, we are saying it's definitely 4. Okay, general knowledge now. What country has the highest life expectancy? This surprised me, I must be honest. Let's see who comes up with the correct country first, because I've got all the correct answers here. Jane Brown has gone for Japan. Oh, no, it's not Japan. And Daniel Coburn, he says China. No. Monaco, says David Allen. No, all them are actually... Now then. No, right. Ooh, we're going all over. Let's go down these. Jan Kirby says Japan, but South Korea. Russet said Finland. No, it's definitely not Monaco. Believe it or not. And Kevin Beasley, I've just waited there for Kevin. Norway. No. It is Hong Kong. Can you believe that? Yep. Hong Kong. That's got the highest life expectancy. John's gone, oh yeah, well, John didn't got it wrong. John, I'm surprised you fell at that one, but well done. So we were looking for Hong Kong. Right, moving on. An ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight. Is that true or false? I'm just waiting for the answers to come up now as I keep the commentary going. Jane Brown, she says false. Daniel Coburn says false. Anybody else going for this, that an ant can lift 1,000 times its body weight? David Allen says true. Daniel Coburn, is it 10 times? Are you asking me or telling me? John Denny, false. Jan Kirby, they lift more, so it's false. You're quite correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's false. Actually, they can lift, I think it's 10,000 times its body weight, actually. So there you go. Right, okay. Bit of a trick question there, to be totally honest. My voice is almost gone for tonight. Here's Guess the Year. The year that Concorde took its final flight. Boo-hoo. The first Pirates of the Caribbean film was released. Christmas number 1 was Mad World. What was the year? Now, I would expect David Allen to get this one. Jane Brown says 2003. David Allen says 2003. Let's see if Jan Kirby 2009. Daniel Coburn 2003. Yes, it is indeed 2003. Right, and we move on again. Now this will be interesting. Right, well done, Queen Bee. She's back on side now. Where am I? Now then, let's just see a minute. Is anybody wanting to have a go at that? I know Jane Brown will know it because she sent me the picture. And I'll tell you the story shortly. Let's just see if anybody wants to just put in what it is. I'm just giving it a moment. Right. David Allen says Castle Street. No, it's not. And A dwarf's letterbox, says David. No, Daniel, no. Ollier's Walk, no. Kevin Beasley, Ollier's Walk, no. But you know there's one man that's got it, don't you? Yeah. John Denny, the smug himself, has got it right, because he says St Mary's School. Now let me show you where we are. If you go to St Mary's School, under that window in the middle of the picture, look just below it. There is the said letterbox. So I want to thank Jane for sending me that one earlier on today. In fact, it came up in a little message for me, and she'd put it up, and I instantly replied, St Mary's, and she said, I'll tell you the answer later. But of course, and then she goes, oh bugger, yeah. But she said it so nicely, she did. Anyway, there you go. So well done. No, it was St Mary's School for the Where Am I? Dennis Perkins only just answering the Guess of the Year 2003. Suggest you get faster internet there, Dennis. Right, well done, John Denny. As usual, he just teases us all the time, doesn't he just? Okay. Yes, Dennis is a little lagging. No, it's just the way he walks, says our Dennis, I can tell you. Anagram question. Houseflies. Excuse me. Housefly subhead Waller. Most locals know it as one or the other. So, let us just see. We know some people have got this right. So, answer to the first part of the anagram, please. Not the second part. Right. Jane says, no idea. And Daniel Coburn said, I didn't get this. I don't know why I bother telling people to do it in, because Jan's just gone straight through. Knocked it all down. Yeah, Jan Kirby says, halfway house, Desford Crossroads. La la la, I'm not listening. No, it's okay. No, so it's Bull's Head, halfway house. That part is the two names for the pub. A lot of people call it the halfway house, but it's actually Bull's Head. So hence why some people know it as one thing, other people know it another. And Oscar's Redford Sods, and this is just up the road from the halfway house. And of course, I was looking for, as Jan has already told you, Desford Crossroads. So there we go. Oh, it's been fun. Oh, yeah, there you go. Well done. So if you got that right, give yourself up. In fact, this is the day. Even if if I give you a point each for each anagram there, we've been playing 6 of the best. You could actually technically get 7 of the best today. But there you go. Yeah, David Allen said it's the Bull's Head on the A47. No, it's the halfway house as well. Wake up, smell the coffee. Right, okay then. Right, Alan Kropp says, well, Marie 2, Alan nothing, 0 note. There we go. Let's have your scores then, please, ladies and gentlemen. And as the scores start to come in, Daniel Coburn says 3 for me tonight. Well done, Daniel. Okay. Anybody else want to submit their scores while we're here? John Denny, 5 then. David Stansborough, he's got 5. Well done, David, actually. So anyway, Jan says, I've got 3 instead of 2. Yeah, that's all right. 4 out of 7 then, says Jeff Wallace. Yeah. Russet, usual zilch. Yes, but you're consistent. This is what you have to remember. You're consistent. Well done, Russet, all the same. Queen Bee's got 5. Well done. That's a nice one, Queen Bee. And 2, says David Allen Foreman tonight. So that is good as well. And Jane Brown, 4 tonight. Had great fun, thank you. And thanks for using my wearing Hinckley. Well, I'd got one lined up, but I seen that. I thought, no, that's a good one. We'll use that tonight. So, and Elizabeth Moore, or Queen Bee's got an echo tonight. She's telling me again. 5. Got it first time, Mum. Right, okay. So, well done. Those of you who've got 5, give yourself a big pat on the back. We'll give you a little clap. That's good. Well done indeed. Now, I've managed to get through the programme pretty well okay, and I am hoping that the old voice will be back to normal next week. Because, as I say, just a reminder, remember, there is no more social nights now until August, when we'll have Tony York coming to talk about the Civil War. And also, there will not be a live... I think what might give might give the live streams just a couple of weeks off soon. I need to reinstall my computer. And if I don't get it done in time, we could have problems. But we'll be here next week anyway, and I'll tell you what we're going to do then. So we will be back next Sunday night here on HDPP Live. Be nice if you can join us as well. And Dave B's after a bonus point, look. He's always after you spilt the beans earlier on. Get out now. Yes. Anyway, so we'll be back next week. I hope you can join us then, and hopefully by which time this throat will have cleared up, and I'll be back using my usual tones instead of this voiceover artist. So, until next week, remember to keep it HDPP, to keep it live. Take care. Bye. Oh, hello. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the soft dulcet tones will now echo around the world. One day, all watches will be made this way. Can you remember that advert? Just come back to me. Was it Seiko? I think it was Seiko watches. One day, all wristwatches will be made this way. Silly fool. Anyway, listen. I can't let you go without just a couple of dad jokes tonight. And it will be short and sweet. Bit like me, really. My wife said she's leaving me because she thinks I'm obsessed with astronomy. I mean, what planet's she on? When I told my mum that I'd opened a theatre, she said, "You're having me on?" I said, "Well, I'll give you an audition, but I'm not promising anything." I witnessed a kidnapping in my local park today. I thought I'd better not wake him up. And finally, did you hear about the English teacher who went to jail? She got a full sentence. Yes. Good night.